Hello there and welcome. I'm going to be covering a very common subject today in fish keeping, and that is why do fish chase other fish? This is something that pretty much everybody who's ever kept a fish has encountered, and many people get really uptight about it and worried, which as a pet owner you can only understand. You want the best for your fish, so why the hell are they chasing each other? Why don't they just get on? Well, there's three main reasons why fish chase each other. The first one is simply to show who's the dominant fish. This is usually the case in shoaling fish or schooling fish, depending on those, but there'll always be a dominant fish, an alpha fish, and this is the one that will chase the others about, and they do this simply to show who's boss. They don't actually intend to hurt the other fish, they're just there showing who's the big boy. Now, the reason this becomes a problem is because in the wild, these schooling fish will be in their hundreds or even thousands. So one or two dominant fish knocking the other ones around doesn't really do a lot of damage because their aggression gets spread out really evenly amongst a few hundred other fish. The reason this is a problem in our aquariums is because usually people keep fish in a shoal of 5 or 10. And as you can see, when you get a dominant fish, it has a lot less fish to be angry at. Therefore, the chances of your non-dominant fish being damaged is a lot higher. So what's the solution? Well, try and keep your fish in a bigger shoal as possible. And that way, the dominant fish will have more subdominant fish to vent his anger at. The second reason that fish will chase each other is kind of linked to the first, and that is breeding rights. Now, all these male fish are pumped full of sexual frustration, and they really want to be the one that breeds with all the females. So what do? They fight. They fight and they're trying to show off to the females to show who's the best mate, and also who has the rights to breed. Very similar to most other animals. Again, in the wild, this wouldn't usually be a problem because what would happen is all the males would fight and the most dominant male would then be able to breed. His aggression would be spread amongst all the other males and there's no problem. In your aquarium, of course, there may only be one male, or in some instances, many people keep only males together. So for instance with guppies, you can sometimes keep entire tanks of just males. This of course leads to a lot of squabbling and arguments. What's the solution? The best solution when keeping most fish is to have 1 or 2 males and then at least 2 to 4 females. That way you have got enough females for the males to fight over. That way there's enough females to go around and aggression is usually lessened. This brings me on to the last and usually the most common reason for fighting, and that is territory. Now, if you can look at this fish here, it's a Geophagus steindachnorai, red hump Geophagus. He is the king of this rock. That is his rock. He loves it and he will fight for it. Look at him. He will chase all the other Geophagus away because that is his home. And that's generally what a lot of fish are doing when they're fighting with other fish. They are defending their territory. This kind of behaviour is actually more common in larger solitary fish, or ones which form a pair when they breed. So the most common of those will be any of the American or African cichlids, this one being American. You might notice he's not actually trying to hurt the other fish, he's simply trying to get it away from what he considers his territory. There he goes again. So what's the solution to this kind of behaviour? Well, if it's not doing any other fish any harm, you generally just let them get on with it. It's part of their natural behaviour and it's actually something which they would do in the wild, so don't worry. But this problem can be confounded if you add too many males in too small of a tank. The advice there really is don't put fish which have large territories into small aquariums, because all that's going to happen is they will aggressively defend their territory, and usually that means the entire tank. Therefore, they'll probably kill, if not stress out, every other inhabitant of the aquarium. If this is becoming a big problem within the aquarium, other than removing the fish, what you can do is heavily plant or landscape your tank. Put lots of things in it. What this will do is break up the line of sight for that male fish so that he doesn't always see the other fish in his territory. It will also give the other fish more places to hide, and if you do a complete rebuild of your tank, it may break up the male's territory so much that he doesn't actually have anything left to defend. So what's the take-home message of why your fish are fighting? It's usually to do with males competing with each other. It's either territorial or basically they want to bang the females. Usually the solution is to break up the territories or add enough males and females in your aquarium of the same species so that any aggression is spread out amongst a number of individuals and not just focused on a single fish. I hope this has been somewhat useful, and thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like my videos, and happy fish keeping!